Good afternoon, friends. I'm Miss Natalie from the Accokeek branch of Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Welcome to our Crafternoon. For today's craft, we are going to be making a garland of stars, and we'll be making those stars out of paper towel tubes. You know, the little cardboard things inside of the tubes. We only need a couple things to get started. We of course need the tube from the paper towels. You could also use one from inside of a toilet paper roll, although those are smaller, so you might need a couple of them. You'll need a pair of scissors to make this tube into the little oblong shapes that we're going to use. And I do recommend using children's safety scissors for this, but if you just have this kind, that's fine too. You may want to ask a grown-up to help you with the cutting. To put them together, we're going to use some tape. You could also use glue, but in the interest of time, we're going to be using tape today. The real trick is to get this into several small pieces. They're all going to be circle shapes like this, but we really want them to be pointy on the end, so we're going to flatten it. That's pretty flat. And then we're going to cut it. We're going to cut this into 16 equal pieces. The way we're going to do that is we're going to cut it in half in the middle. And then we're going to cut each of these in half in the middle. And then we're going to cut each of these in half in the middle. Then we're going to cut each of these in half in the middle. You can see that each time we cut it, it's half as tall as it used to be, and this, about 1 centimeter in height, is the height we're going for. So I'm going to keep cutting these in half until they are all like this. And you can see, because the cardboard is a pretty stiff kind of paper, it holds that shape and doesn't try to go back to the circle shape it used to have. And that's important because the stars are pointy on the ends. You could make your own paper rolls by rolling up a piece of paper and taping it, but it wouldn't stay quite as well as these cardboard ones will. Additionally, brown paper is very in, so this is going to look really cool when we're done. We're going to make a couple stars together today, so I'm going to use a second paper towel roll and cut a few extras. If you have just one paper towel roll, that's enough to make one star and a little bit extra. As you use more paper towels going through your life, you can add to your garland. Okay, that's a nice pile. To start our star, we're going to need 5 of these. Just grab these guys. And if you put them together, they don't go all the way around. We're going to fix that right now. We're going to take a piece of tape and we're going to put it inside, almost but not quite at the point. See, there's just this little bit of room here. And then we're going to put it point to point like this with the next one and wrap this tape around so it is taping them together, almost but not quite at the end. Our star is going to have just a little bit of room in the middle. We're going to do that again. We're going to put this tape in, almost but not quite at this point, and then we're going to add it to the star that we've started here. And wrap that around, and wrap that around. We're going to keep doing that with the other two. And then we're going to add one here. And that is going to create equal tension all the way around. When it's like this, it wants to be a peacock tail, and that's its own thing. But that's a Crafternoon for another day. We're going to put a piece of tape in here, almost but not quite at this center point. Then we're going to gently pull this one up to meet it and tape it down. And there is the center of our star. Now, you could leave it like this. Looks kind of like a flower, very pretty. And you could make a garland of these. But we're going to make this star a little bit fancier. We're going to add one in between the others, like this. And that's going to make it look fancier, and it's going to make it, well, bigger. We're going to need a little extra tape for this part though. When we connected these middle ones, we only needed one piece of tape. We're going to need 2 pieces of tape. We're going to connect each of these here and here. We're going to do that same thing where almost but not quite at the end, we put our piece of tape in the middle. Then we gently tuck it here and we tape it down. You can see right now, because it's only been taped on one side, it wants to turn all the way over there to the left. We need to make an equal amount of tension on the other side. So we're going to take the other side and put some tape in there. And then gently pull this one up to meet it and tape it down. And you can see that's much more even up there. But now it's pulling these 2 up. So we have to make the tension the same all the way around. We're going to take the piece of tape, put it inside of a petal, a star point, and find the next place where there's 2 together like this and tape it down. And then do it on the other side. Tuck that one inside and then tape it down. And then we're going to do, oh, that piece of tape is not quite long enough. What am I doing? Then we're going to take the other 3. We're going to do the same way. Tuck that in where 2 of our original ones meet. Tape it on that side. Then tape it on the other side too. That's kind of a pretty design just on its own. And there's 4 out of 5. And then we're going to do this last one. We're going to tuck it inside almost, but not quite all the way down. And then pull these last 2 together and tape it. Nice little star shape. We are going to attach this to the garland that I started earlier. Now this one has several stars on it already. And the way that we're attaching it is we're adding a link in between the stars. We want it to be this point up, so we're going to take these next 2 points and attach them like this. In our case right now, we're going to take this point and this point, and we're going to attach them. To make the link that we use, we are going to get out our scissors again and hold this so that we've got a point in one hand and a point out here in the air. And we're going to cut it in the middle, just on one side, like that. Then we're going to fold it in half like this. And now there's 4 sides. You could make a little square like that if you wanted to. But we're not making a square, we're making a triangle. We're going to overlap these two and then tape it. We aren't going to do that though until these are attached. If we finish this off before they're attached, then there won't be any way to stick it on. We're going to loop it through and loop it through this one. We're going to overlap these two, and then we're going to tape them around so that neither of the stars is included in the tape, but this triangle connects them. And now this is a pretty long garland. It's got 6 stars on it right now. I'm going to make 1 more star with the extra pieces that we cut earlier. I'm going to do it a little bit faster this time. We're just going to tape 5 of these guys together. Tip to tip like this, but taping just above the tip. Sliding just a little bit of tape in there because we don't want to waste all of our tape. And then when we've done that to 5, we're going to tape it together at the bottom. Tuck that in there, almost but not quite at the end. And then tape it. Yep, pretty good. Then we're going to need 5 more for the outside. We're going to slide some tape. Slide some tape in there and tape them down where 2 of these meet. And then we're going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. That might not have been quite enough tape. Then we're going to do that on the other sides too. Uh-oh. And then we've got 1 more, and we can attach it. Okay. There's our next star. We're going to link it up with the next one by snipping this one halfway through and then connecting it here and connecting it here. These 2 overlap. And we're going to tape them together. being careful not to tape the stars themselves. Okay. That is a lovely amount of garland, and I can't wait to hang this up somewhere. You don't have to make just this shape though. Once you've cut those little strips in the beginning, you can do some other things too. I made this sunflowery kind of shape. It has exactly the same number as one of these stars. They're just all in the middle instead of being one layer in the middle and then one layer on top of that. I made this little wreath by taping them 1/3 of the way up and then 2/3 of the way up on the next one, so that they kind of spiral around. And then I thought these two could look cool together, and it turned out they did look cool together. There are a bunch of different patterns that you can make like this. And one of the best things about this craft is that it's pretty much free except for the tape, because your family is probably using toilet paper anyway, so you've got these eventually. Thank you guys so much for coming to Crafternoon today and for doing crafts with me. I always really enjoy it. I hope you did too. And we'll see you later. Bye.